Ambassador Plays back in the building. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Not just well, but swell. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Look, y'all, today we got some FighterZ gameplay. You see what we got, man. And I'm honestly really thrilled with how this game feels. I'm really thrilled with how this game feels. And a large part of that is because I have just been playing Sparking Zero for the past 7-8 months, however long the game has been out. And so playing Sparking Zero for the past 7-8 months has taught me a lot about fighters. And what I mean by that is it's taught me how bad a fighting game can be. Sparking Zero is a failure of a it's a failure of a fighting game, in my humble opinion. Now, you can agree with me, you can disagree with me. We're gonna have to say, let's let bygones be bygones. But I have played Dragonball FighterZ for all of 29 minutes and 16 seconds. And from those 29 minutes and 16 seconds, I can tell you something right now. This, as a fighting game, not as an overall product, you know, that's arguable too. But as a fighting game, it clears Sparking Zero. It's not even close. Like, this actually functions like a fighting game. This genuinely functions like a fighting game because they made it to be strictly a fighting game. Yeah, some of the cinematics can look pretty cool if you get into the specials, but you know, that's not what you can tell that that's not what they were focused on in here, right? So talk to me in the comments, man. Have y'all played FighterZ before? I've never played FighterZ. Is it called Dragonball FighterZ or Dragonball Fighters? I don't know. Somebody's gonna have to tell me. FighterZ would make sense because it's Dragon Ball Z. But as you can see, man, in this video, we're just going to be going through the tutorial, man, because we are learning how to play this game. This is day one. Why am I doing this? Why are you doing this, AP? This game has been out for years. What's making you, like, what took you so long? Well, number one, when it comes to Dragon Ball Z games specifically, I like to avoid the side-scroll fighters because Dragon Ball Z in the anime, it was never just side-scroll. It was always an open world type of fight, right? It was always an open landscape where you could fly around and all these different kinds of things in the Dragon Ball Z anime and in the movies. It was never side-scroll, right? And so naturally, wanting to emulate what I've seen on the Dragon Ball Z movies, I only wanted to really play the games that could allow me to do that. And so the side-scroll fighters, while you get to see your favorite characters do awesome combos, they fail at emulating the feel of Dragon Ball Z because it's stuck on a 2D plane, if that makes sense. That's number one why I waited so long. Number two is because there's a new game coming out. It's like a Marvel game that plays like FighterZ because it's by the same creators of FighterZ. And when that game comes out, in terms of fighting games, I think that it's going to take the world by storm because we haven't really had anything like that since Marvel vs. Capcom, if I'm not mistaken. And that game was a hit. That game was a banger. If you didn't play it, you missed out. If you like fighters and you never got to play Marvel vs. Capcom, you missed out. So this new game coming up, hold on, let me search it up on my phone and see what it's called. I've been seeing it on YouTube. Marvel Tokon, that's what it's called. Marvel Tokon, man. I believe that's what it's called. Fighting Souls, official announcement. Yeah, Marvel Tokon. So Tokon, I believe it's Tokon. I don't know, but that game's coming out and it plays just like FighterZ from what I've seen in the trailer. It's a side scroll. The graphics look like FighterZ, man. It's by the same creator, so there's no surprise there. So I'm mainly playing this game so that I can be good at that one when it comes out, and that won't be a surprise. It won't be a surprise. It just won't be a surprise. You know what I mean? Because I'm not typically used to playing games like this unless it's Street Fighter, but this functions, operates, and plays much different than Street Fighter. And I can easily say that because I've been playing some Street Fighter 6, which, by the way, more Street Fighter 6 content on the way, man. I had to go out of town for a week, didn't have my PlayStation 5, and when I got back, I was caught up in recording other content. I actually had a different video for y'all to post today, but it got messed up, so this is what you guys are getting today. Hope you guys enjoy. But look, dude, there was another Dragon Ball Z game. I got my phone right here. It was announced. Gekishin. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. Now, if you haven't seen it, go watch the trailer. Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. That's Gekishin, Gekishin Squadra. Squadra. And obviously you should know how to spell Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. Listen, okay, listen. This joint looks garbage. Okay, and I know, hey, I know some people are gonna disagree. This is some people's bread and butter. This joint looked like Plants vs. Zombies, man. This joint looked like Clash of Clans. When I think Dragon Ball Z, that's not what I think. Now listen, I'm not gonna write it off because there's an audience for everything. Okay, there's an audience for everything. If we can have people making money off of ASMR, cracking open crawfish and crab and all these different kinds of seafood and slurping it in your ear, and they're making money off that, then there's definitely an audience for a Plants vs. Zombies layout of a Dragon Ball Z game. Alright, so I'm not writing it off by saying nobody's gonna like it. To me, garbage, rubbish, absolute bum water. Absolute bum water. I mean, that game would put me into a coma. Not to sleep, but into a coma, bro. I'ma just be completely honest with you. That game would put me into a coma. But I just wanted to talk to y'all about that real fast because I just seen that today while I was at work. I was watching a YouTube video and they actually had played an advertisement of a new Dragon Ball Z game. And you know how in the advertisements they gonna show all the cinematic parts of the game. So I was like, oh, this joint looks fire. But I had skipped it. You know, as soon as I possibly get the chance, I be skipping my ads on YouTube. I don't know about y'all, but I be skipping my ads on YouTube. It's at my earliest convenience, right? So after I skipped it, I was like, okay, let me type in new Dragon Ball Z game coming out. I seen it. I pressed play on the video on the website that I clicked, and it was the exact same beginning as the advertisement that I skipped. So I knew it was the same thing that I had just skipped. So I was like, okay, let me watch it. Almost threw up in my mouth, man. I almost broke my phone because of what was on my screen. when I think Dragon Ball Z, bro, I don't think Plants vs. Zombies. I don't think Clash of Clans, bro. I don't think World of Warcraft. You feel me? And that's the vibes it was giving, the way it was playing. So that joint will put me into a coma, bro. And I just want to see what y'all thought about that. Let me know. Right here against TM, bro, I was very confused. They say the best offense is a good defense. Guard against 3 of your opponent's attacks in a row. And so I wasn't so much as confused as to what to do. I was confused as to why this ninja was baiting me out. Like, look at him. He got the little praying mantis hands. He goes forward sometimes. He jumps. And so I'm sitting here like, okay, when I hold back, I'm moving backwards, right? So I can't move back too far from him, as you can see, because then I'm not going to block that third attack, because that third attack is very close range. So it's like I gotta stand there vulnerable and anticipate when he was gonna block me. And that's when I realized, oh snap, I can do the ducking crouch. And you see how you just keep running away from me? But you supposed to help me block 3 attacks in a row. You keep running. What are you doing? You really, okay, so before I ever even actually get into this game, you want to mess me up. That's what you telling me? That's what you telling me, Tien? No, though. Beat the brakes off you. So right here is showing you how to do a dragon rush. This is how you break your opponent's guard. And it showed me that I could actually do 2 of those. Once on the ground, and then when my opponent's in the air, I can actually do that mug again. And so I most definitely did that. And so right here, I'm just using the things that they've taught me so far, which isn't much because we're only 8 minutes into the video. But I did enough to KO that boy. And I ain't gonna lie, I thought this video was gonna be like 15, 20 minutes. It ended up being a full 30 bomb. Why? Because this tutorial was actually pretty long. Much longer than I originally anticipated. Give me like 10 minutes. Much longer than I originally anticipated. Sorry, my beautiful queen was just asking me if I was ready to eat some dinner, you feel me? But I'm trying to record this content for y'all. So yeah. FighterZ, man, look, bro, okay, let's talk about a few things this video. Number one, I just want to say, I don't know, maybe I'll say, I just want to say, yo, listen, if you're thinking about something like dreams, bro, in terms of like, okay, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be an engineer, and y'all just enjoy the gameplay, y'all can read what's going on the screen. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna read it for y'all every single time. Y'all see it, y'all know what's going on. Wild one. Now read the screen, man, read the tutorial and follow along with me now. So boom, right? If you have dreams, why listen and really think about what I'm gonna ask you, bro. Why do you let people tell you what you can achieve when they are not you and they don't have to deal with the consequences of your actions or lack thereof? Let me run that by you again. If you have dreams, why in the world do you let other people tell you what you can and cannot do when they do not have to face the consequences of your actions or lack thereof? Let me break down that last part to you. Your actions for taking flight towards your dreams can bring forth amazing fruit. And what fruit means is just substance. It's making the thing happen or lack thereof. Those same people that are discouraging you from your dreams, they do not have to deal with the regret for the rest of their life of wondering, what if I just really chased that dream that was so passionate, that I was so passionate about? It was just burning up inside me with passion. What if I chased that dream? Those people that are telling you what you can and cannot do not have to live with that, bro. So let me tell y'all first and foremost, do not let anybody else dictate your future except for you. Here's what you gotta do, bro. And this is coming from somebody who's actively in the process of pursuing their dreams. You understand what I'm saying? You best believe I done had people call me names. You best believe I done had people drone on me. You best believe I done had people tell me I'm wasting my time on here on YouTube. Listen, you need to sit down and ask yourself, why are you doing this? You feel me? You need to sit down and ask yourself, why are you doing this? And once you come up with that answer, if it's not a if it's not a superficial reason, bro, you hold on to that why and you let that drive you. Step number 2, focus on where you're going, not where you at. When you look at where you at, you're gonna say, wow, I'm at the bottom of this mountaintop, I gotta get all the way to the top. No, what you gotta do is take that joint one step at a time, bro, and appreciate where you at, because you gotta find the joy in the process. It's beauty in the process. You gotta trust the process. Step number 3, if they ain't you, stop listening to them. If they not supporting you and they ain't you, stop listening to them, because anybody who's telling you about your future, bro, if they supposed to be a part of your destiny, they gonna help you towards that. If they don't understand, God did not put them here to be a part of your destiny. You do not need them to fulfill your purpose. So move on, but move them to the side. I just wanted to say that real fast, bro, because I hear and I see, including myself, a lot of people getting discouraged from following their dreams, bro, because some irrelevant, bummy, crummy loser is talking about what you can and cannot do. They want to bring up your parents, what your mama did, what your daddy did, what your uncle did, how they failed at doing this, that, and the third, and they want to use that to discourage you. Boy, if you don't shut them people up, bro, and really lock in, if you don't open up your Bible and read where it says all things are possible through Christ who strengthens me, and really lock in with God and say, not my will, Lord, but let yours be done, and then really do what it is that you have a passion for with all of your might, bro, you best believe God gonna take care of the rest, bro. And don't stress out on the future too much. And what I'm preaching to y'all right now, I'm still practicing by myself. You feel what I'm saying? Just worry about today, because tomorrow's troubles will take care of themselves. All right, so take things one day at a time. So that's number 1 thing that I wanted to talk to y'all about real fast. 2, Sparking Zero, the state of Sparking Zero is just, it's been worse, right? It's been worse, but I just feel as though everybody's abandoning this game, and the people left are either unbelievably good at the game or they just have a love for Dragon Ball Z. I find myself somewhere in the middle. I say I'm a casual all the time. I'm much better than the typical player on Sparking Zero, and I don't say that, with arrogance. I just say that based off of hard evidence and facts. I'm able to take matches when I run sets against the best players in the world. I'm not beating them in sets, but I'm taking matches. A typical person is gonna get washed. It don't matter if it's a 1st to 3, a 1st to 5, a 1st to 7, a 1st to 20, bro. These pros against a typical player, bro, they would destroy them, and a typical player would never beat them unless it was lagging. That's number 1. So I find myself somewhere in the middle between a ridiculously good player, and let me not say ridiculously, because that makes it sound like I'm a pro. I find myself somewhere in the middle. Well, no, I can say ridiculously, because I'm saying I'm in the middle. I'm not saying I'm on that side. I find myself in the middle of a ridiculously good player and then somebody who absolutely loves the game, because I feel as though those are the only 2 people left on Sparking Zero. Those are the only 2 types of people left on Sparking Zero. I absolutely love Dragon Ball Z, bro. As you can see, I'm playing FighterZ. This is not even my style of Dragon Ball game, but I'm playing it because I love Dragon Ball Z, and I can't wait to be the best Vegeta in the galaxy. All right, and so I find myself somewhere in the middle, man. And so what I'm seeing is you got the pros that play 24/7, 365. They be sweating and they know everything about the game. And then I see the people who 8 months into the game are still a B rank. Now, It's no reason to be a B rank 8 months into the game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know rank is frustrating, but B, that's just the 3rd rank, bro. You still got to go through all the B, all the A, all the S, and then get to Z and maintain it. And so it's 2 different extremes, right? You got the people who aren't so good, but they just love Dragon Ball Z. And for a Dragon Ball Z lover, I'm not gonna lie, that is an amazing game to play. That's an excellent game to play. Why Ambassador plays? Because that game is absolutely beautiful, bro. One thing you cannot take away from Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is the beauty of that game. Yo, like visually, cinematography, yo, like videography wise, that game is nice, bro. That game is cinematic as crap. The animations are really smooth. The game looks beautiful, man. It makes you really feel all of the supers and the attacks, man. The dialogue, the character interaction. They did their thing when it comes to interaction and the visuals of the game. They really did. Now, in terms of features, possibilities, things that aren't too big a okay, so boom, perfect example like this right here. Look at this outfit that Vegeta's wearing. It looks like a mix between Bardock's Saiyan gear and Vegeta's typical Saiyan gear, bro. I've never seen Vegeta wear something like this, but they have it as an outfit in FighterZ. Why is that not in Sparking Zero? It's not like we're asking for something that's impossible. We've seen it happen in games like Dragon Ball. Bro, we've seen it happen in the previous Budokai Tenkaichi series, and for those of y'all who don't know, if I'm not mistaken, the original name of the Budokai Tenkaichi series was Sparking, the Sparking series, Dragon Ball Sparking, right? And so this Sparking Zero is just the most recent installment of that, but it was more popularized as Budokai Tenkaichi. In the previous games, they had different outfits, and so now in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, bro, we have the most basic outfits. Why do we not have outfits like Gohan's Bojack Unbound outfits? Why do we not have outfits like Vegeta's pink shirt outfit, bro? Why do we not have outfits like this? It doesn't make sense. Why do we not have the jumpsuits that they were wearing in the 2018 rendition of the Dragon Ball Super variation of the Broly movie? Those joints were clean. Why do we not have that, bro? Why can we not customize these people that's already in the game? Like, it's people already in the game that we should be able to customize certain things about, bro, and we can't do that. Also, yo, it's just like you can feel love, right? When I play Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, I feel like an orphan, and I'm sorry for my orphans out there. I'm sorry for my orphans out there. I'm not saying anything personal about you, for real, but I'm just saying, I'm talking about the orphans where like they parents just say, you know what, I do not want you as a child. I'm finna give you to the center. Not like their parents passed away and like an orphan that was just abandoned because he wasn't wanted. That's what Sparking Zero makes his fan base feel like. That's what Sparking Zero makes his player base feel like. They make them feel like rejected and abandoned orphans that never got adopted. I was in the orphanage from the time I was 0 to 45. I transferred, listen, Sparking Zero make you feel like an orphan that grew up in the orphanage, and then they had an immediate transfer from the orphanage to the nursing home. They was in the orphanage their whole life, and then when they were too old, they went straight to a nursing home. Ain't never had nobody that really loved them, just people that are doing the bare minimum to keep them alive. That's what Sparking Zero is doing. Is it not? I know this is an extreme analogy, but think about what I'm saying. Doing the bare minimum to keep them alive. Look, orphanages, bro, these orphanages, they be having the worst stories, bro. Ask any orphan that you know. Go online, type in orphanage horror stories. They gonna tell you about how they was being fed roaches and flies as a delicacy. If they were lucky, they got cooked roaches and flies. Now, obviously, I'm exaggerating, but I say this to say that the experience wasn't good for either nursing homes, for both nursing homes and an orphanage. And the people who were taking care of them really just did the bare necessary to make sure that they stayed out of trouble with the law and they kept those children and or senior citizens alive. Does that sound like love to you? No. Doesn't that sound like Sparking Zero? We took all your bread. We made sure we put 110% effort into these trailers. We made you fall for it. We hyped up these trailers so crazy. We made you spend your hard-earned dollars, or we convinced you to spend your hard-earned dollars on this game before you ever even seen a sample of the product. And as soon as we broke records selling initial copies of this game, getting people to buy Legend Editions and all that, then we up and disappeared. Goku instant transmission, except I never reappear. I just disappear. That's it. I'm vanishing without reappearing. That's what the dev team did. That's what the creators of Sparking Zero did. And then when they finally did come back, months into the game, they will patch one thing to break another thing and give you the bare minimum DLC. I ain't gonna lie, the first DLC that came out was straight. This last one, buns, dog water, doodle cheese, dumpster fire, all the negative things you can think of, that's what this last DLC was. Now, I watched Diamond. I don't care what kind of excuses they got talking about chronological order and the timeline. No. Give us a better DLC, bro. We paid good money, bro. We paid good money. The least you can do is give us the DLC from the show that we just finished watching and the things that people actually want. Why do I have Pansy? Why is Pan... Let me talk about another thing. Why is Pan in the game, but base form GT Vegeta is not? I guarantee you it's more... Bro, Pan is a GT character. That rendition of Pan being that old is GT. Why is Pan in the game and base Vegeta is not? First of all, for all the different variations of these characters, all y'all do is copy and paste anyways. You feel me? All y'all do is copy and paste anyways. So why couldn't you copy and paste, give him a new grab, give him a couple different super animations, give him a few different voice lines, and then reskin him to be GT Vegeta? Y'all could have at least done that. That would have been cool. But instead we got Pan. Oh yeah, instead we got Goldo. That's who we got, bro. We got Goldo and Kiwi and Pan. That's who we got instead of GT Vegeta. But like, you see what I mean? And then, okay, boom. Let me give you the DLC, but let me give you the most non-desirable characters of the DLC. Shoot, I'm surprised, bro. They didn't drop into the DLC that King. You know Pansy's father? I'm surprised they didn't put Pansy's father in there instead of Vegeta. The track record they got with Ho and Vegeta, I'm surprised they didn't put Pansy's father in there over Vegeta and gave him flying kicks and a rolling hammer. Something that a lot of Vegeta forms don't have. Man, come on, bro. Vegeta got 3 different forms in the game that don't even have a rolling hammer or flying kicks, bro. Or it's missing one or the other, bro. His Super Saiyan form from Dragon Ball Super, dog water. He's got 2 gut punches, a ki wave, a ki blast, and then like the ki blast. You know what I'm saying? The ki wave and the ki blast. Then you got Super Saiyan 4 with just a rolling hammer. He got a gut punch, a rolling hammer, a ki wave, and another something else. Ki wave, and he got that ki fire blast thing. Right? Then you got Majin Vegeta. That man might as well have 4 gut punches straight. I'm not gonna lie. Dang near, that's what he got. 4 gut punches straight. Then you got Super Vegeta. He's got a rolling hammer, no flying kicks. I mean, this character, for all the forms that he has, bro, like 50% of his forms don't either have a rolling hammer or a flying kicks. But that's unacceptable. We talking about the second strongest person in all of Dragon Ball Z. We talking about the second most experienced combat veteran in all of Dragon Ball Z. And you telling me he can't do flying kicks and rolling hammer in most of his forms, but his adversary Kakarot can? Oh, and guess what? Goldo can. Bro, you give a better rush string to Bardock and Goldo. Bro, Bardock had bro, in the entirety of the Dragon Ball Z history, Bardock might have had 20 minutes of screen time. If that, I'm being generous. And you gonna give him one of the most desirable rush chains in the game? Why is that? Oh, because Bandai is biased towards Goku and Bardock is Goku's dad, so he's in the family lineage of Goku. Bro, Goten has better rush strings than Vegeta. Gohan definitely has better rush strings than Vegeta. And Goku definitely has better rush strings than Vegeta. Bro, Pan has the same rush strings as Vegeta in terms of quality. And she's freaking 5 or however old she is, bro. Man, I won't be surprised if in this next DLC they give us a dope Pan and Pansy's father. And say, be glad that we gave you somebody that you weren't expecting. Enjoy a dope Pan. Bro, like, I wouldn't even be surprised at this point if Dragon Ball Sparking Zero did some nonsense like that, man. So, the state of this game, I don't want it to make it sound like the game is just absolutely terrible and rubbish and garbage, bro. But it's just bad. Sparking Zero is not a very good game. The developers lack care and love for their product, bro. When you really love your product, you're going to do what it takes to take care of it. You're going to treat your product like your baby, bro. If Sparking Zero was a baby, bro, they would have to be reported to Child Protective Services by the neglect that they're treating Sparking Zero. If Sparking Zero was their baby, bro, they would have to go to CPS, bro, for neglect and abuse. Neglect, abuse, and manipulation, bro. That's what they would have to do. And I know I'm being funny. I know I'm making jokes. I'm so for real, man. I'm so for real. So I'm off my tangent, bro. I know I went off on a super tangent, but let me know what y'all think of FighterZ, man. Let me know if y'all are excited for more gameplay. Y'all, if y'all are nice at FighterZ, hit me up, bro. Add me on PSN, drop a comment, man. Get in touch with your boy. Help me expedite the process of learning how to play this game, bro. Because I have no idea what I'm doing on here whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to wrap up this video, go eat with the family, and have a splendid rest of my night. You feel what I'm saying? And y'all want to know something truly insane, bro? My laptop, first of all, I got a gaming laptop, not a gaming PC, but it's very, very powerful. I spent a lot of money on it. God is good. I say that to say, bro, I took this joint off the charger before I started this video. Now, as you can see, this video is 29 minutes and 16 seconds. My laptop was on 100% because it always stays plugged in. Right now, it is at 53%. I have 46 minutes of battery power left. Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely joking with me? That's all I get. So, bro, with stuff like this, you got to keep that mug plugged in all the time. But yeah, bro, let me know if y'all are even still playing FighterZ. If not, let me know if you ever did play it and how long it lasted, and let me know why you dropped that junk, because I'm really interested in hearing why. I'm pretty sure I know, like, borderline some of the reasons why you probably got upset and dropped the game, because I'm playing it dang near every day and uploading it for content, which, don't get me wrong, I think that's what I forgot to say. I love FighterZ. You know how people end up in toxic, abusive relationships? That's me with FighterZ, bro. I don't care how much it mistreats me. I don't care how much it manipulates me and just like neglects me. I'm still gonna come back, bro. Like a foolish person who's in a toxic relationship, bro. That's me with FighterZ. So I don't want to make it seem like I don't love this game. I love this game because it really does make me feel like I'm reenacting the Dragon Ball Z moments, bro, from the shows and from the movies. It's the closest thing I have to reenacting DBC and making it come to life. You feel me? I can use Vegeta and I can beat a MUI Goku, something that I know would never actually happen on screen. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama, but we knew he was never gonna let Vegeta outdo Goku ever in life. So maybe not a Toyotaro takeover, maybe Vegeta could have a saga or two where he's stronger than Goku, but you know what I mean? Other than that, I got no hope but FighterZ. So I don't want to make it seem like I hate the game. I don't hate the game. It's the opposite. I love the game. I just hate the neglect that the game shows itself. I just hate that the developers didn't put more love into the game and upkeeping and maintaining the game and pleasing their player base, which lined their pockets with all this bread. We did them a favor and they screwed us over in return. How'd that work? We did you a favor by buying your game and you screwed us over in return. That's crazy. That's like working for an employee, right? No, I'm sorry. That's like working for an employer, and instead of paying you the money that you deserve, they fire you. Could you imagine how crazy that is? Thank you for giving me all these services. In fact, thank you for not just doing your required job description. Thank you for going above and beyond. In honor of that, we're going to fire you and leave you jobless. God bless. Like, you feel me, bro? Can you imagine that? That's what it feel like with FighterZ, because we didn't just do the base necessary for this game. We could have just bought the standard edition, the general edition. No, a lot of people brought the upgraded packages, and guess what they did? Screwed us over in return. Effectively screwed us over in return, man. So I don't know, bro. Hopefully, I'm optimistic about my experience on Dragon Ball FighterZ. Yeah, man, I have high hopes for it. I hope that it does well. I know that it's a good game in terms of actually being comp and being a fighting game, so that's something that really excites me, and I can't wait to get into it. But yeah, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Talk to me in the comments. Jesus loves y'all. I love y'all too. God bless. I really appreciate y'all watching this video, man. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. I would love to graft y'all into the Ambassador Plays army, not just an army, but a true family. It's been Ambassador Plays, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.